everybody. Hey, Soul Fam. If you're in our Be Your Own Guru Facebook community, please give us a what's up, a hello, a hey, a happy Valentine's Day. I'm so grateful that you're joining me and that we're sharing beautiful, loving time today for Valentine's Day with everybody in the Be Your Own Guru community. And this live stream will probably end up getting shared to my Thai Gold Alchemist YouTube channel. My husband wears many hats and he is the conductor of the YouTube channel. And I can't say for sure what day or time it will be uploaded, but at some point in the future, I imagine this will be available there, and I'll be sure to let you know when it is. So thank you for joining me. Happy Valentine's Day, Willow.
Happy Valentine's Day, or Galentine's Day, as I'm so preferring this becoming.
Tell me more.
Well, I just love that the gals are embracing Valentine's, because ultimately I feel like it is really about us. And like, instead of loving, waiting for some person to validate you, it's like letting your friends be that person for you, and letting it be less about this love that comes from romance, letting it be love that comes from friends.
Love it. Love it.
I'm loving that transition. And of course, I've been playing Miley Cyrus like all day long, because we can buy our own flowers. Okay. Yes. And we can take ourselves dancing, and I can talk to myself all day long, because, you know, I have other people to talk to up here too, by the way.
I ended up singing that song through the house, and then Jake ended up on a call with Noah a few hours later. Noah was singing the song, and Jake's like, "What is it? I haven't even heard this song on the radio," and I'm hearing it from my family. So it's definitely a catchy tune. I get a little uncomfortable that she designed the whole thing around a revenge song, but you know, sometimes that's what gets us there. Sometimes the heartache is what gets us in our independence.
Well, and I wonder this, it has been inferred that it is revenge because revenge sells, but I curiously wonder if it is not her response to, no, I got myself. Because I don't get revenge vibes from this. There's no like blood in the water on this one. It's like, no, I got this. I got me. I don't need it to be like you buying me flowers and you taking care of me anymore. Like, think I got this. Cool. And I kind of love that. And again, I think it's an inferred revenge, because that's how the media portrays everything, as like what sells. But she hasn't come out herself and publicly said, this is revenge. You know what I mean? She's like, I wrote a single girl anthem, by the way. You're welcome.
Yeah. All right. Well, I love your interpretation around that. I think it's very like thought-provoking. And I definitely stand beside, what did you call it? Galentine's
Day.
Galentine's Day. All right. I'll have to remember that one. I love that. So how would you describe I know you're married now. How would you describe like your dating or like your love life before you were married?
I would like to tell everybody that I dated / tried on every shoe at the shoe store. The joke that I most like to make is that I dated every man in Denver, so nobody else had to, and was lucky enough to get out of it. And this is by no means to shame anybody who does have an STD or has of that, but somehow I managed to F my way through Denver and not get an STD. And that's truly like a claim to fame of mine. I was an absolute shit show. And I want to say this, when people talk about self-worth, or that you need to know your own worth, etc., I don't disagree with that statement, though I do not believe that is a necessity to find the person that loves you. For me, it absolutely did need to be there, because I was so lacking in confidence and so easily manipulated and so easily like was abandoning myself for other people. And it took a lot of years to realize that the only thing I had to lose was actually myself. And it wasn't until I got that hit that I no longer had anything to lose but me, that everything really shifted. And that's when my husband was able to come in, and it's the healthiest relationship because there is no codependency. There is not that need for him to validate me. I think sometimes to a fault. I think he'd love it if I asked him to validate me sometimes, but there's no need. Like, we are very much living side by side, out of choice, not out of obligation, as a result of my healing. Yeah.
So your love life prior to marriage, and then the way you've described your marriage and compatibility and partnership now, did you take time off in between?
Yeah, I always did. I was notoriously alone much of my life. I just really didn't understand what the I had been raised in a very codependent family. My parents, people joke, share the same hip. They ride a tandem mountain bike around the globe. Okay. Like, they to this day ride a tandem bicycle and sleep in tents around the globe. So I was raised in a family where two people were never separate.
Yeah.
And two people never argued. And two people always just agreed to get along. And so I really struggled in my early years in relationships because I simply did not understand why, one, they didn't want to be with me 24 hours a day, and two, why we were fighting, because it didn't make any natural sense to me based on my upbringing. So it took a lot of not reinvention, but kind of unwinding from the preconceptions that I'd been raised with. And I do think that there's a point in all of our lives where what we came from has to be dismantled anyways, to become actually who we are. You definitely have to, I would agree with you, like, reap the benefits and then kind of like discard the rest. Like, totally get that. I'm curious, where on the timeline of family and marriage did your psychic abilities begin appearing? That is a really great question. As I've been writing my soon-to-be book, I've been writing it from the perspective of all the times I should have known. All the little city experiences that had happened along the way. But one of the most significant times, I was in my late teens, early 20s in a live-in relationship with a man who was not very generous or kind with me, with his words. It was I wish that we could say abusive relationships are abusive when it's verbal and not physical, because to me, the damage is equal. But I was in a really verbally terrible relationship when my psychic first showed up. But my assumption was, again, because my confidence in myself was so low, that even though the psychic was so sharp, and even though it was so spot on and keen, my assumption was that this thing that we do was reserved for really special people, that it was not something that anybody got to have, that it was something that you had to be like a James Von Proggy style person to get. So fast forward, there's a ton of other little dippy dips and like sparkles that appear, but it's actually my wedding night after our I do's, and everybody has left the party, and after a lot of alcohol had been consumed, that the dead people showed up. My late grandfather and my husband's late mother, who I both had never met either one of them, showed up at the party. And it was my dad who initially recognized his own father coming out of my voice and out of my body. Like, my body had shifted, my voice had shifted. And my dad goes, "Oh my God, I think you're channeling my dad." And at that moment, immediately I felt Aaron's mom push through. And Aaron, who did not sign up for Girl Who Speaks to Dead People, was like,
this is my next question.
No, nope, I'm going to go to bed. Y'all, we've had enough to drink. We've done enough. Like, go to bed. And of course, I don't consummate my marriage that night. I stay up with my parents and talk to dead people. You know what I mean? So that was the intro to understanding that maybe maybe I did have this ability. And that was the day that everything for me really shifted. And sadly to say, the bait and switch of marriage, where my husband then was married to a girl who speaks to dead people.
Well,
Whether
and
he
that's my
chose
next question. Is like, how did you manage going from a hairstylist to doing this? Like, how did he ride that roller coaster? A lot of people would freak out or be like, no, like, we're not the family that does this.
Right. For the listeners, you guys, I was a hairdresser for 20 years in total, but it was my 13th year of doing hair, and I was booked. I owned my own business. I was successful. There was no need for me to transform my career. But what had happened at that moment was, all of a sudden, anytime I drank, dead people showed up. Anytime I had alcohol or marijuana, I started channeling from a different space. And Aaron started to notice it, and he would make jokes with our friends like, oh, don't give her the pot. She's going to start channeling in a foreign language. And if I drank, inevitably somebody's dead person would show up.
Wow.
It took our daughter getting here. When she was born, I said to Aaron, where I lived in my life, I didn't have a role model. What I grew up with was a mom who relinquished her power to be a parent and a wife, and was afraid of her own shadow. And she never pushed into her potential because her fear of criticism and rejection was sharper than her ability to become who she wanted to be. And I said, and I really don't want to offer that to my daughter. I don't want to just be a hairdresser just because I'm good at it and successful at it, blah, blah, blah. I want to show her that you can push into something. And if we tell our kids that you can be and do anything, what better opportunity than to be and do the weirdest fucking thing ever, which is to be a psychic. Right. And so I have literally shown my child that she can choose anything that she wants to be in, truly make a career out of it, make money out of it, help serve and participate in the world. But she was the catalyst, I would say, for me abandoning my fears and abandoning my sort of scarcity or lack mindset in that, and really going forward and doing the self-development and meeting the therapist and finding the people that would help me remove those fears, help me remove the pockets of me that were sticky and hard and weren't going to let spirit in.
Sober. Not as a party trick.
Oh, I mean, as soon as I started training, I stopped. Like, I made very clear boundaries with spirit anyways, and still have very clear boundaries with spirit. We do not psychic without permission. Yeah. I do not medium. I don't medium like other people either. I do not stand in an audience and go, I'm getting a B word. Is it Brian? Does he? I don't do that. I make everybody ask me for their person. I make everybody ask me their questions. Wow. I do not psychic without permission. That is such a big boundary. And I do not drink and psychic at all. Like, no drinking and driving, no psychicking and
I love it.
Drinking.
So how has Aaron adjusted to you quitting your hairstylist and doing this full time?
Yeah, I think I want to say two things on it. He is the most remarkable person I've ever met in my life. The fact that he can I don't want to say allow it, because that sounds so shameful, but he does allow it in his own. He hates it. It's not his jam. He's not into this. He doesn't want to talk about it often, but he'll come to me and be like, can we smudge the house? Or he'll come to me and say, like, what do you think? But he does it really in the pocket. He doesn't want it done in the traditional sense of psychic. He tells people, everybody loves my wife and she's really good at what she does, but I don't go see it and I'm not interested in it. So don't tell me. Wow. But he powerfully supports me in other ways. Like, he cannot be here. It's too scary for him. He comes from a very Christian religious background. So I think it's really rubs against everything he knows. But financially and fiscally, he has always supported me. Emotionally, he has always supported me. And he is always like, whatever you want, babe, you do the thing. Wow. And now, as I'm finally like breaking my own glass ceiling in this space. I
Right.
broke it in hair, no problem. But this space took a lot longer for me to get
Yeah.
confident. Now that we're there and he can see
Mhm.
it for its the purpose that it is in serving people, but as well that it serves our family now. I
Right,
think he's
right.
finally like, "Phew, okay, so you're gonna do this and we're gonna make money at it. Okay. Because
Okay.
logic first, are you gonna make money at it?
Sure. Well, I commend you for this. I imagine that was like a really like give you some rough moments in your marriage. So you guys have been together, are you in the double digits now?
Yeah, we are from 2009. So I think we're in our 14th year this October, 14th or 15th year this October.
Nice. Well,
Uh,
congratulations.
Thank you. I know. Anytime you
Yes.
get to be with somebody, I think past 5 years, you're crushing at life.
Right.
Unless you're compromising. And I just want to add that little note there.
Mhm.
Unless
Yeah.
you're compromising your spirit in a way where you don't get to flourish, then maybe I'm not excited that
Time
you're
in,
together.
time served is not. Yeah.
Yeah. And I wish that we could get that with love very clearly, that like this is not a till death do us part scenario anymore. This is a until our energy runs out here,
Mhm.
in my
Yeah.
opinion. And that is
Yeah.
my vibe on marriage, is like until our energy runs out here.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like I just make plans till the end of our time together.
Well, and you absolutely might be. I don't like pressure. I don't like plans and I hate pressure. So for me, I need it
Amazing.
to be a little bit more like whatevs.
You do belong in the spiritual community then. This
A
is
little
your
bit, but not with the dogma and not with the like rules. I'm not interested.
I know, I'm playing. Okay, so you touched on this a minute ago, but I want to dive in a little bit deeper, and mostly because not mostly, but also because you have a live event tonight. Again, thank you so much for sharing this time with us. I know the pre-work that kind of goes into big events like that. I'd love it if you could describe one of your typical live events, whether it's online or in person. Like how does that look if I'm sitting in one of your gallery readings? Do they kind of follow they're the same format? Do they have a life of their own? And then my other question is like, are there a lot of tears? Like, are people crying? I can't seem to do mediumship because I'm clairaudient. I hear everything first. And so my nose is going, my eyes are going. So I'm just so curious. Describe one of your events, what does that look like?
So I have a format. I'm very organized. The only Ty and Riley and I all joke, I am a giant disaster in real life. Like my closet always has clothes on the floor. I'm disorganized as fuck on the outside, but my inside is very organized. And I think that's why, because I'm so busy organizing the inside of my life, that the outside can be a mess. The inside of my psychic is so categorically organized and boundaried that I'm very formatted in it. So I meditate everybody in. I do not psychic without a landing meditation every time. Nice. I ask that everybody understand that they are a participator of this. I am not a cold reader. I'm not a gotcha psychic. I'm puppies and rainbows, which means it's not that I don't see the accident, but I'm going to do my best to help you navigate around it in a really lovely way. It's not that I can't see hard things. It's that I actually choose not to. And so certain people's readings, I'm very clear, like, ooh, this one feels really hard to me. I might not be able to read it in the gallery, but I can absolutely bring you into a one-to-one and we can dissect this in a more private sense. In the galleries, I do everything from mediumship to psychic. So people can ask any questions, from bringing in a loved one from the other side or asking day-to-day life questions. So I'll give you one example or two examples. If somebody asks for their loved one, the way that I'm different in my mediumship is the first thing I ask is, what is their name? The second thing I do is, once I start getting their energy in, I start to validate that they have this color hair. I'll give an example of this. So I have one gal, her grandma comes in and her grandma is wearing maroon polyester pants, but she's showing me that she has camel toe and that her pants never fit and they're a little bit high water. And so I am relaying this message to the audience, by the way. Like, does your grandma wear these maroon, terrible polyester pants? And the girl is laughing immediately. The girl is laughing. And of course, my spirit knows I'm funny. And of course, their people know that I'm going to be funny. So they bring in their funny most often. And so,
everybody's
and then I go,
a comedian on both sides.
Right. And so then I'm like, and does she have camel toe? And she goes, she's hysterical now. And so everybody in the audience is laughing and everybody's now invested because like, how specific of a detail is this? Yeah. And once we've got her validated and her energy in the room for sure, then we can move on to the more spiritual stuff. But what I always say about the mediumship too is they are exactly who they were here on planet Earth. So we don't ask them for advice. We don't ask them how you're doing in life and if they're proud of you. Yes, of course they're proud of you. Like that feels like, yes, I can get that message for you and I can give you earthly messages from them for sure. But if you want life advice, we go straight to the guides and the angels. And I'm not interested in having our loved ones offer that advice because they're no more advanced on the other side in most cases than they were here. They're not our people up there for that. They might be able to stop a moving bullet. I don't know. But I think it's our guides and angels that ultimately know us best and are really looking out for us. So I always steer the direction back to guides and angels. My favorite reading that I had this last week, and I was given permission to share both of these stories. Again, I don't share stories without permission, and I'm very clear about that boundary. A girl in the audience said, "Can you speak to living things?" And I said, "Yes." And she goes, "Because I just really want to know if my tortoise is happy." So she had this tortoise named Cleo, and Cleo immediately comes in and Cleo's like, "I love my bed of lettuce that you give me." And I can see like Cleo's eyes opening up, like a tortoise's eyes kind of open up. And like, I can feel her vibration, this little tortoise. And she starts talking about the lake in her house, this like man-made pool that they have for her and how much she loves the cats and that the cats play with her sometimes. And she starts talking about like, there's poop on the floor, but I don't think it's my poop because I'm really good about my poop. And the mom goes, "Yeah, we have a geriatric dog that keeps shitting on the floor and she must be confounded because it's right on her path." And then the turtle starts talking about how she is like a little dinosaur and she just knows that in a past life she must have been a dinosaur because she is
I love this.
And mom calls her the little dinosaur, like the moms call her the little. So those are the things that like in the gallery, we're getting all kinds of readings from like, will I fall in love? And will my career be the right move? And sometimes should I stay married? And sometimes, you know, other hard things. How's my health? Am I going to die? All the things. What I love about the gallery is that it gives every economic group the availability to get this answer, to have access to it, because on a one-to-one level I am not inexpensive, and I think it offers hope. I think what people get in these gallery settings is this true understanding of how connected we all are, this true understanding that we are not alone, this true understanding that every human is suffering and at the same time experiencing greatness. And when you are sitting in this room hearing a story about somebody else's parent and you feel your parent in that moment, I know I'm facilitating some version of healing. Not me, but you know, the divine. I have nothing to do with this. I am merely just the messenger here, and I hate to take any credit other than my availability to get out of the fucking way to allow for this shit to happen, you know? And then I always end up obviously making fart jokes in the middle of anything. So back to the tears is, yes, they're crying. Yes, we're feeling things. Kleenex is being passed around the whole audience. People are crying for other people. People are feeling for other people. And I really think that experiencing this is not TV, it's real life. And people sitting in a room with other people feeling things is maybe bringing us back to humanity, is maybe bringing us into our empathetic vibration collectively. And maybe it will make us more kind.
Yeah, I love that. And that's why I find you so inspiring. I love your perspective and how you look at things and how you see yourself as being of divine service, but you do it in such a way that you kind of you're very like, you have a lot of humility about it, a lot of graciousness about it. So, and you don't take yourself too seriously. But I do have a question, because I think it would make a phenomenal television show. Would you ever mash up the hairstyling?
Anybody who's got that lead.
Would you ever mash
I won't
up
be humble about that. Would I ever what? Say that, sorry.
Mash up the hairstyling with the psychic mediumship? Like, could I ever hire you for a one-on-one and get my hair done and be read at the same time?
In the beginning, I had a lot of those questions because all this was happening in the hair salon. I was accidentally, and that's the accidental psychic aspect of my name or my title, I was accidentally giving out information without permission. In the beginning, I didn't know. I did not realize that my quote unquote advice was coming from somewhere more divine than me. What I noticed in particular, and maybe my boundaries are better now, I don't know. The hair actually is such a physical job, and it is a healing job. So it's like doing Reiki plus hair. And then if you add psychic, girl, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is, by the end of a day, as the psychic was developing inside of me, I don't want to put cancer on this, but I do wonder if it sucked so many of my vibes dry that it even allowed for cancer to take place in my body. It was that much for me energetically. So I would have to say probably not. And I understand that the value of it would be like, ooh, but then you're going to get everybody going to their hairdresser and bouncing those boundaries and jacking with their hair. You know what I mean? So as well, I don't want to say you don't have permission if you're a hairdresser or a massage therapist or somebody who's in the touch field of service to not do readings at the same time. You're welcome to, if that is your vibration. For me, it was not boundaried enough energetically.
Right.
There was too many energies going out at once and not enough coming home for me. Yeah.
I used to manage a bookstore, and that's when my clairaudience and my Wi-Fi was really strongly connected. And it was a spiritual bookstore, and I was receiving guidance all day for every customer that came in. And anyway, I realized I wasn't supposed to be doing that. So I thought if it was against the rules, I wouldn't be getting this information. Like if you would have said something to me about boundaries, I'd be like, but if I'm getting it, they need to hear it, right? Like that's where I was on that understanding perspective. And the other reason why I'm asking you about the mashup is because I've also had meetings with television producers who really tried to massage me into a television show. They're really radical about transformations. They love to see a transformation, and they love to see us put our abilities into like a regular person's kind of experience. And so I was doing my makeup today, and I was like, oh, I wonder if she'd ever, but it makes total sense when you describe this, like how much of a, I think, time consumption, energy consumption, boundary crossing. I could imagine there being a lot of conflicts there. Yeah.
And I imagine if I were, I don't know, that would be a side subject that you and I could go into about the energetics of, I look at the TV thing and I go, I'm totally down for it, but it would always have to be on my terms, to be really frank. Like,
which is why I've been,
that's not how they work, and I don't really care. Now we have YouTube and we have TikTok, so it's on my terms. Yeah.
I've had multiple meetings with producers, and yet still no show for the same reason. You're not going to tell me. The last one they pitched me was, and this isn't about me, but it's Valentine's Day. They wanted me to pair up twin flames. I just walked in my house and shut the door. I was like, no one needs that dumpster fire of a show.
No. No, and I mean, if you want to talk about some, if she's here on this live, I'm sorry, but I did get in a Facebook fight yesterday with somebody over the twin flame thing.
Oops.
And not in a mean way. The
Oh.
thing is I struggle with spiritual languaging. I struggle
Yeah.
with our industry trying to make things special. I struggle with that because like not everybody is actually astrologically assigned to what would be considered quote unquote twin flame slash soulmate slash whatever we're calling it. Okay. Not everybody is astrologically assigned to it. Some of us are actually assigned to hard earth energies or different versions of ourselves to be learning here on planet Earth. And so when you've got another person selling dating, whatever, find your twin flame crap, I get really offended from and affected both from my old single self, but as well for the people that I know that I work with, that I'm actually relieving them when I say, you don't have to. You don't have to find your person.
No. Yeah.
You get to make out with a bunch of people or no one at all.
Frogs. Yeah, absolutely.
Or and it's not even frogs. Like, here's how I analogize love of that version. When I get a dog, I know that I get 15 great years with that dog if I'm lucky. Great. Maybe I only get 8, but I get to love deeply and fiercely this animal for a short period of time. But my animal people who have chosen animals over humans, like are not giving birth, but love their animals. Look at how many loves of their lives they get.
Yeah.
They're not stuck with this one kid for the rest of their lives that they have to support and love forever. They get like a handful or more if they want. But their experience of love is really way more abundant than me and my husband, who are going to be together forever and ever and ever and ever. You know, like, I don't know whose fairy tale we all are signing up for, but I sometimes wonder if I was meant to be making out with some more people too. And like, astrologically, I would like to make that more abundant. And like this twin flame, what if you're the flame you're looking for, bitches? You know what I mean? Like,
you're amazing.
You're the knight in shining armor. And this fairy tale series that we keep trying to sell everybody is horseshit.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in it anymore. I just am not interested in making people feel bad that they don't fit into some social construct that doesn't work for everybody.
Yeah. I've had a lot of conversations with God and my divine support team about twin flames, and I refuse to talk about it.
So you and me both, girl, on the pinky there. You know what I mean?
To talk about it, and I will tell you just a quick reason why humanity has mangled it. I don't know where to begin. And so,
oh my God, and it's so many layers. That's the thing, is like the nuances and the layers to this. And it makes sense. Like, how do I explain to you? You travel in a soul pod. And then this person, if you're astrologically assigned to that person.
I may write a book on it one day just so I can shove it out there, like punt it like a football. But at this point, I'm not called to speak on it, and I'm good.
Yeah. I'll only yell about it. If I write anything about it, it's only going to be me yelling about it.
You're shouting. Got it. All right. Going back to this long list of questions that the divine gave me to ask you.
Love it.
Tell me what kind of prep you do prior to one of your gallery events, please.
Well, you probably won't enjoy the answer, Ty, because you and I are different in this way. Not much. Not fucking much.
The day before, the night before, the hour before?
No. Like, I do a lot of other people care, meaning like I go to my acupuncturist, I get a massage.
Love it.
I have I'm sitting across from my infrared sauna, so I'll infrared or I'll take a salt bath. I've been doing a lot more salt baths. I do feel like I have a cold right now, and I love a good cold for 6-pack stomach. And I feel like I sneeze out and exercise out the ghosts, if you will. So I don't mind about it. But I don't do much. And here's why, and here's what I want to say is my ego. And I'll wonder from our gallery of people who watch this, and feel free to raise your hand silently or give us a thumbs up on this. My ego is so invested in getting shit right that if I give it the bone to get ready for shit, I actually start getting worried that I'm not going to. If I take too much quote unquote prep time, my ego's investment in trying versus trusting gets in the way. So I more or less busy myself. I may even watch an inordinate amount of television on the day of a wine and woo, totally distracted from my ego. Like essentially I have to give my ego something to do so that it doesn't fuck with me on event days.
So what do you watch?
Oh my God, I watch everything. I'm not ashamed to say I'm obsessed with all things sci-fi, and I'm obsessed with all things like post-apocalyptic. I'm not saying that I don't also watch Puppies and Rainbows, like Emily in Paris shit too. I do. I do like lightness and that, but I love things that open my mind. I love things that are so far out there that I don't get trapped in the general construct again of what we believe is true.
So give me an example of the last sci-fi thing that you watched.
Well, I'm watching Fringe again. This is my third time watching Fringe. Fringe is the super sciencey show about essentially two dimensions that are equal but different. So it's like if we were on another section but mirrored. And then all the weird shit that happens when the worlds start colliding. And I just love it.
Dreams I've had.
But it's very gruesome. And so some psychics can't see the gruesome things, and I actually can handle it. And again, because of my Puppies and Rainbows exterior, even the scary stuff isn't that bad.
Nice.
I can find a positive in it. So
I love that you're sharing this with us, because I think some people can take it too seriously. I get really introverted the night before the day of, but I'm usually channeling. I'm hearing a ton of stuff. I'm writing things down. And so internally I have a ton going on, and I almost have to like clear space around me. So what kind of advice would you?
Mine is on off, Ty. Where you're open channel, I am not.
You're not.
I only turn the on button. Like as soon as I hit the stage, the on button is on.
Got it.
And as soon as I get off the stage, the off button is off. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give a budding intuitive, psychic, or medium who's starting out in this field?
I only have one thing that I'd advise anybody, and I think this is across the board, but trust yourself. And that's the hardest advice that I could possibly offer you. But there is no magic pixie dust except trust yourself.
Yeah, I love
That's
that.
it. That's all I have.
I agree with that one. That's a good one. What is the greatest lesson / could be hardest challenge or the biggest obstacle you've ever faced? I realize they might be three separate things, but the divine worded it to me all three ways.
Yeah. I honestly think it is that. Right back to my best advice, trust yourself, is also my greatest
challenge. Lesson.
It's been my greatest lesson. Again, all the information that my ego accepted leading into psychic was that I was not, as far as my ego was concerned, good enough at anything. People did not like me, would not like me, and that I was eccentric and too big and too wild and too all the things to actually get to be this. And I think that stood in the way of me trusting the divine and trusting myself. And as long as I wasn't trusting me, I was cock blocking them. I want to be really fucking clear about that. I'm going to say it again. as long as I wasn't trusting myself, I couldn't even trust the divine.
Yeah.
So when I got clear with me, and by the way, it was a lot of fucking therapy. There's no overnight with this. There's no around it. There's only through the thick of your fear, the thick of the things that scare you, the triggers, all of the things. Years of therapy. And I went through 3 different therapists, not because one wasn't good, but one did one thing, the next one did the next thing, so forth, so on.
Right.
I also want to say, and this is going to sound crazy to some, I don't care. Cancer saved my life. Cancer saved my life. Cancer brought me to the trust that I didn't know I didn't have.
Wow.
Cancer showed me that I was loved. Cancer showed me that I had no time left to spare. That time is really short here on earth, that we don't have an abundance of time, that we can make money in any way that we want to. But if we waste our fucking time, we're not going to make the money we want to. We're not going to have the successes that we want to, that we're not going to get to do the things that we want to do if we squander the time that we have. And so cancer was as well that gift of understanding that, like, bitch, it's like time to get up, do the motherfucking thing, and stop worrying about what other people think of you. Let's go.
Love that. So for you, cancer was like a refinement tool.
Oh, I think it remodeled me. I think I am remodeled after cancer. I think what was cut out of me was not just like hysterectomy of my uterus and all the parts of me. I think what was cut out of me was everything that had ever been hurt and everything that had ever been scared. And in that remodel, I hired a team between acupuncturists, massage therapists, and a somatic therapist who helped me breathe through every pain of every experience. And we did it with psychedelic helpers. I'm not going to lie about that part. But that combination put me where I am today.
Wow. Wow. Well, I'm really glad that you, you know, I'm quite familiar with the cancer journey, and I know it can take its toll from the beginning and the middle. And if you're fortunate enough to make it to the end, and have a tale to tell, then you are one of the fortunate ones. So there's probably a lot of gifts you could harvest from the other side of that, I would imagine. I know I did with my son. I'm going to ask you a question.
I want to interrupt one thing. I do want to say to the audience as well, to our listeners, is this one thing. You don't have to get cancer to transform your life. And I wish people had been louder about that part to me.
Definitely. I get that. Yeah, you don't. And I think what you can receive or benefit or gain from the cancer experience, I think people may get in other ways, whether it's a car accident or a breakup or a loss of a job and career or financial devastation. I'm with you. I totally get what you're saying. Okay, so let me ask you this question. I turned chats on for this event. I was a little questionable about whether I wanted to do that. And then this question came in from Philip. So, gentleman in our Facebook group. Do you get your jokes? Yeah. He wants to know if you get your jokes by channeling comedians, and if not, why not?
Never occurred to me to ask that, Philip. Never occurred to me, not once. But what I will say, Philip, is I probably am going to say yes to that in a weird way, though. The jokes hit, so nothing's planned. The jokes hit right on the spot. And I do get an energetic hit. I'll get an image from a movie. I'll get a one-liner. I will get something. Now, I'm not privy to I didn't download a lot of comedians before I decided to be something in this. It just really was very natural to me. But I do get I'll get a song. And so all of a sudden I'll sing a song as it relates to whatever we're doing, but in a funny way, because I'm a terrible singer, or I'll get a single line and I'll nail it. So yes, kind of ish. Great question.
Yeah. I was like, I wonder if she does channel, is it like Robin Williams, Lucille Ball, like,
I would
who?
love Robin Williams to channel. I'm going to ask for him tonight. Mr. Robin, calm down.
Well, Philip might be elevating your
That's
experience by
right.
asking
The
this question.
shtick.
I was so mad when it came in the phone. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so mad I didn't think of that. Like, that is such a phenomenal question.
Really
So
good
great.
question.
Yeah.
Really good.
All right. I'm going to skip this question because we're time. Okay. I'm just going to read this one. We know and love you as a comedian, artist, creative, philosopher, wise owl, maternal, psychic, medium. What do you believe you are here to create in the world?
Well, thank you for that. Lovely. Can you email that to me, and I'm going to
Yeah.
put it on my board, and every time that because even though I'm saying like I'm all confident now, I still need reminders. And so I would love
Sure.
that just for those days when I'm falling down weak and need to be reminded that I'm okay.
Put it on your vision board.
I said it a little bit earlier, and I'm going to just say it again. I am not here to hurt people. And
Right.
my legacy, like as I see it, the legacy that I personally, not my divine connection, but the way I see it is just kindness and bringing in love and showing love and acceptance and making a space that is available and open to all the people, and helping people see themselves as I and as the divine sees them.
Mm-hmm.
Which I know is scary as fuck for some people to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we always ask to be seen, don't we? Like, when you talk to people about their love, they're like, I want somebody to love me and have them see me. Like, I hear that all the time from people, that when they meet their person, they just want to be seen. And as soon as I start seeing people, they're like, ooh, they're like the tortoise, right? They're like, oh, maybe not. But I think the kindness of seeing people is maybe the legacy that I have to leave behind, to get to offer any glimmer to that person, to show them that shine, the way that you just showed me my shine. Like, I don't see my shine the way that you do it.
Right.
And I have to be reminded sometimes of what I do also, because I do believe that we do need outside validation, because the ego is sometimes
Right.
very sticky to us. So yeah, I think shining people's light back to them, letting them see themselves the way that they wish they could see themselves.
I love
Spreading
that.
that love and that light onto them. That is the legacy I choose to leave.
My nose runs when I channel, so every time I do a live stream, I'm
I get
dabbing at a
super
nostril.
stuffy.
So I feel like I want to also bring to light, I believe that we have like certain codes. That's the language I use around it. Certain codes that we either come into this lifetime naturally born with, or we gain them through experience and mastery, self-mastery. Like for me, one has been a constant theme or focus in my life is forgiveness. And it's not because I started out great at it. This was the one that I am constantly fine-tuning. And I feel like one of the things that you're naturally great at is your boldness, your nonconformity, and your confidence. And when you are matched with the right people who are not necessarily wanting to like take that from you or put off by it or jealous of it, people who really recognize it for what it, because I'm sure you've dealt with that stuff. Because the distortion also gets attracted when we embody those kind of like wavelengths, frequencies, codes. I feel like you had been brought into my life to help me master more confidence and like individuality. I want to cry.
So sweet.
And uniqueness, and the fact that it wasn't even on your like list of things that you're here to do and create. I guess it kind of is when you mention shining their light back to them, but you definitely are like a confidence booster, and I do that for a lot of other people. So it's kind of unusual I help people with fear factor in that regard. If they're like resisting moving forward, I'm the nudger or the good swift kick in the behind. But you do it differently. You just really embody a braveness and a boldness that's like, why can't I wear this new wig on the live stream today? I'm totally going to rock it. Yeah, I'm going to premiere that, debut that with my conversation with Willow. So I love copying and pasting some of these confidence and like codes from you. I love having your spirit and your energy just around me. And I don't feel like I tap into it in a way that's siphoning, but it's, what would Willow do in this situation today?
That might be the greatest compliment of my life.
Oh, yay.
That truly might be the greatest compliment of my life. Absolutely. I don't even know what to say. I thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't think bold, brave, confident, again, comes natural.
Oh, one of those things that you've been.
This is hard earned. This is really hard earned. And I think, again, my shadow side had to be fucking worked with. To get me to this space where I don't love that line, no fucks left to give, because I have so many fucks. You know what I mean? I struggle with the oxymoron of it, because when people say I don't care, I'm like, you care a ton or you wouldn't have said that. Okay. When I say I have no fucks left to give, I have so many, but what I don't have left inside of me is this. Again, I know that I don't hurt people. Mm-hmm. And I think that if we come from that place of knowing, I go out of my way to not hurt people. Right. And if I scrape somebody by accident, it is either because of white bias, or it's because of cis bias, or it's because of some other
lack of awareness
that I can't see. But it is never intentional. And I don't leave my house any day of the week trying to hurt people. And I think that the more that I understand that part of me being the truth and the only truth I care about has made it possible for the boldness. That's made it possible for the confidence and the bravery, because I know that I'm not hurting anybody. If they get hurt because they hear something that I say, again, it was not intentional towards them, and I will own it if it came out that way. I can now take that too, and I can internalize it and not get hurt by that too. Their pain. I used to get hurt by other people's pain, and now I don't internalize their pain either. And I think too is part of that bravery and confidence, but that part was maybe the hard earned part, was the not taking their pain in. Right.
Making yourself responsible for that. So what can we expect to learn or read about in your upcoming book? Ultimately, I know you have juicy stories, and I'm just curious.
Juicy stories for sure. I think it's everything that we sort of talked about today. I want permission. I want every person who reads it to have permission to be themselves and to trust themselves. In the undercurrent of all of it is, and if I had trusted myself at that moment, who would I have been at that moment? We can't look back with regret of not having followed that thread. We can only build on it. And so it all builds. All of the things in our lives build to the acumen, build to the confidence, build to the trust in ourselves, in our experiences. And so that's what I think will be the capstone message, but it's not done yet. Right now, it's just like a bunch of stories about me being psychic.
Are you going to take us through your trail of tears and hardship when you were going through the different, what do we call it? The master teacher spiritual journey that you were on? Are you going to share some of those stories?
Yeah, of all the becoming psychic and all the people that ruined things. Yeah.
That's what no
that
offense, that's what I want to read.
the breakdown, like I feel like, and it'll all get edited down to like the bones of what is important. But yes, the way the spiritual community has hurt people will also be there. But here's the thing, we don't get hurt when we trust ourselves. We do get hurt when we don't. And if we are easily manipulated into other people's versions and we don't trust ourselves, then we fall prey to these terrible guru-y types. Yeah. And so that too is like, if I can build trust in every chapter, there's a gentleman and I don't know him. And so I don't tout him as knowing anything, but I really liked the structure of his book. It was called The Surrender Experiment by Michael Singer.
Okay.
He talks about sort of his trying to quiet his own ego's voice. It's a little bit narcissistic by the end, but if you listen to the cadence of the book, and I listened to it, I didn't read it, but the cadence of the book, the way he does it is like, it narrows into the body and it like writes a story in your body of, and then I trusted and this other doorway opened, and then I trusted and this other doorway opened. Yeah. And as long as I lean in trust, these doorways open. And so the way the cadence was for me in his book is very appealing to me in terms of the how to write something to actually have it matter to people without them knowing, you know, like you're going to get a lot of fallacious stories. You're going to get a lot of like fun woo-woo shit, but accidentally I'm recalibrating your belief system while I'm writing.
Love it. Yeah, I'm excited about it. All right, last question.
Yes.
Who inspires you?
Every single one of my clients.
Yeah.
Every person who's willing to sit across from me. That's a really easy answer. This moment inspires me. Elevated conversations inspire me. People willing to be themselves inspires me. Every moment that I see someone being unafraid inspires me. There was this woman, just so you guys know, if you ever want to find me, TikTok is my spirit animal and we are best friends, me and the TikTok. So I found this woman on TikTok. I don't know if you guys have witnessed this, but Kim Kardashian Skins came out with this tortilla bikini.
Oh, the tiny bikini.
And it's allegedly supposed to fit all bodies. And I, on TikTok yesterday, found this woman in her full body, in her absolute love and adoration of her full boobalicious, hippalicious body. She goes, you guys, I spent my own money on this and I bought the tortilla bikini, and she puts it on over her spandex and over her bra. And then she bounces up and down to show that it absolutely doesn't work. It was so inspirational to me, that bikini, and that video, because I was like, God, how do we get into that? How do we get that confident? How do we get that alive, that we are willing to just so rip off the masks and rip off the bullshit to be willing to put on a tortilla bikini with a front fupa and be okay with it?
Right.
I freaking love that. That's inspiration.
Are you going to get the bikini?
Fuck no. No, I'm not wearing tortilla anything. And I cannot wear a thong, by the way. I am a proud granny panty wearer. I am not a thong girl. I don't understand it. There's some bacteria up in that. I'm not interested. Okay. Like science says that's a bad idea.
I love it. Well, is that the note you want to leave us on today?
Yeah, that's what I want to leave you guys on, is tortilla ass string butt bikini. No, what I want to say is I just feel really grateful for your people that they get you, Ty. They and I have this one thing that is really important and in common, I think, in the spiritual industry and in the psychic industry, is that we are asking you to be your own guru. We are asking you to step into trust with yourself. We are asking you to be bold enough to trust yourself, to love yourself, and to be what you are looking for. We, Ty and I, are not special. We just happen to be facilitators of the spirit. We just happen to be these unique messengers who hear shit in our heads all fucking day long. and then we tell you guys about it. But our full-time job here is to help you be that for yourself too. And so I'm so grateful for Ty's community, and that you guys get to have a facilitator that is not trying to be better, specialer, cooler than, or put you down or shame you in any way.
Aww.
You guys are getting the education that other people I wish that other people could find this community. So what I would like to leave you guys on actually is, if you have a friend that you haven't pulled into this group, if you have a person that you think would benefit from Ty and the opportunities that she offers you guys, invite a friend into this space, because it's safe. And it's one of the few places that I actually recommend people join. So if you do have a friend, go invite them in and offer them the opportunity to be a part of something great for themselves as well.
I appreciate that so much.
Yes.
You know, you really hit on some powerful notes that were part of the foundation, like the grid work. I told you I work with grids. It's in the grid work of these when I created the Facebook group. So you literally hit on some of those, the fact that there's safety and community and all that good stuff.
We don't see shit. Fine.
So tell all of our mutual friends in this beautiful community where they can find you, how they can find you, where you're going to be up next, and how they can get some FaceTime with you.
Great. So you guys can go to my website. It's named after me like a narcissist, willowbradner.com. We were part of an era where everything was named after us. Don't be mad. So willowbradner.com, real easy. And then you can, on there, you can check out events. I do a once a month virtual wine and woo. Tonight is the virtual wine and woo. You can absolutely grab a last minute ticket. And then you can also just come do one-to-ones with me. I don't teach. I leave Ty for that. So if you want to learn shit, go to Ty.
Currently.
I'm not a teacher. Yeah. Well, she's pushing me, but I'm a no. So I'm not teaching. I'm happily dropping like hot topics on my Facebook and my Instagram. So join me there if you want more humor and lightness in your life. But otherwise, I'm real easy to get in touch with, and I'm not famous, so you guys can text me or email me, whatever. I don't care. Those I don't have boundaries around.
You're creating your own TikToks. I showed everyone in my family the one of you in a bunny suit for the Lunar New Year. So great. So great. I loved it so much. Probably 50 of those views are just me.
I love it. It's so good. It was my favorite. And if you like, sometimes it's about psychic, but I try to mix it up. So, you know, you'll get funny videos from me on the TikTok for sure.
Love it. So if we have friends in the Denver area, are you selling tickets for any in-person events or not? Where are you at with that?
It's up on my events board on my website. So if you're in Denver or Colorado and have availability to get to Denver, April 4th, I'm in Denver. Sorry, I've got so many events right now that I don't even know where
it's okay.
So April 4th is my next Wine and Woo live in Denver. And there are still seats available to that one. Yes.
Excellent. Well, I'm envisioning as many souls as you can hold with your vibrant energy. And yeah, I hope you have the best outcome and get some rest before you head out.
Sounds good. I'm going to go get massage right now.
Thank you for sharing this time with me today. I think it was an awesome conversation, and I'm looking forward to people's feedback and their questions, and I'll let you know when it's on YouTube.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys. Bye.
You're welcome. Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for checking out this video today. Be sure to like the video, share, subscribe to my channel. And if you really had a wonderful experience on this video, I invite you to share your reflections in the comments section. I love reading those. And if you would like to explore some more of my juicy magic and medicine, please visit my website at newearthmagicschool.com and register for my email list. I've got some things that you're going to love exploring.